Am I the asshole for straightening my daughter's hair without my wife's permission?
I am not op. Original post by you. Deleted. In R. Amethyst hole. Trigger warning. Racism. Less than. An NBSP. AITA for straightening my daughter's hair without my wife's permission? The 3rd of September 2021. I, male 32, have a 4-year-old daughter. Let's call her Gracie. Gracie is half black. Her mother, female 31, being African American.
Her mother overall handled all of Gracie's hair care and taught me how to do simple styles, but even those simple styles were difficult. My wife ended up going on a vacation with her friends to celebrate her friend's birthday, and my mother came over to visit. I hadn't done Gracie's in a few days, so it became nappy and unmanageable. When I tried to comb her hair, the comb broke. My mother said that I should get my daughter a perm so her hair would be more manageable, so I took her to a salon and got it permed. My wife got home, and when she saw our daughter, she was livid. She screamed at me and then at my mother for even suggesting that, but I think she's overreacting because it's just hair. Then she brought up our wedding.
My mother had tried to get my wife to straighten her hair for the wedding, but my wife refused because she wanted her natural hair on her wedding day so she could be as natural as possible. My mother often comments on my wife's and daughter's hair, and I agree with my mother. But now my wife's telling me that perms chemically burn and damage hair to change the texture, and that I damaged our daughter's hair. Now she's thinking of getting our daughter's hair cut so her hair can heal from the damages, but I still think she's overreacting. Besides, I don't want my daughter's hair to be cut. She looks so cute now. Am I the asshole for straightening my daughter's hair without my wife's permission, even though Gracie is my daughter too?
Verdict, Uda. Edit. I've read the comments and came to a realization about my marriage and my wife, and now I just feel horrible. My wife's mentioned in passing about her childhood and was always vague about it, but after overhearing a conversation between her and my mother-in-law, I just realized how much I truly messed up. My wife is dark-skinned and tall, and she got bullied for that along with her hair. She went to a predominantly white school in Bogalusa, and that made her hate herself and her looks for a while. My God, my wording was horrible too. My wife is beautiful and so is my daughter, and their hair isn't a problem. I'm the problem, and so is my mother.
After hearing my wife's conversations about me and my mother, I realized that my mother's a bully and I'm just a drone follower. My mother constantly picked on my wife, and I just stood by and blindly agreed because she's my mom. But that woman who I married is my wife, and I should have protected her from my own ignorance and my mother's ignorance. I took something she took pride in and belittled it. I was too lazy to learn and took my mother's advice. Hell, my mother said so many cruel things that I didn't think twice of until reading these comments. She'd always make sure my daughter didn't play outside when she'd go over her house because she didn't want her to be darker like her mother, and that comment made me uncomfortable, but I took it as a weird joke. I'm cutting my mother off, and I'm going to apologize to my wife and daughter and start watching hair tutorials again. I'm also going to sign up for a hair braiding class when the pandemic has slowed down once more. God, I'm a horrible husband and father. When my wife is willing to talk to, I won't force her. I'll apologize, and if she wants to leave me over this, it'll hurt like hell, but I'll understand. I've just pushed her to the sidelines for so long and couldn't even see it. I am the asshole. The biggest asshole here. Edit 2. I just got off the phone with my mother. My wife listened in on the phone call. I didn't realize she was in the living room with me until she put her hand on my shoulder during the call. My mother is livid. She freaked out on me and threatened to call CPS when I told her I didn't want her coming around my wife and daughter, and refused to even try to understand what we did wrong. Then I mentioned the damage that the perm could cause to my daughter. I read a small article by a black-owned hair care company about childhood perm horror stories along with the history behind perms, and I'm just disgusted with myself and my mother. And my mother said my wife was being a drama queen. When I told her my daughter might need a haircut behind this, she flipped out and said, "I won't let my granddaughter look like a bull DKE." And I was mortified. She said she's take my daughter from me and my wife and raise her the way God intended. That caused a screaming match. My wife put her hand on my shoulder in the midst of it and took the phone from home and told my mother if she comes to our home again the police will be called, and then she hung up. I put our baby to bed and then we talked. My daughter and wife are beautiful and I don't understand how for the life of me I thought those horrible things. Maybe it was like that SNL sketch, Diet Racism. Hearing those things from your parent and just blindly listening no matter how horrible it sounds. My wife is still mad at me. Rightfully so. But she told me she isn't leaving me over this. She said I have a lot to learn and that if I want this relationship to last I need to open my eyes and realize that the world I live in is different from the one she lives in and different from the world our daughter will live in. I'm horrified at myself and horrified at my mother. My father called a few moments ago but I ignored the call. I'll talk to him in the morning about this. Thank you all for talking some sense into me, and I thank my wife for staying with me even though she doesn't have to. Tomorrow we are asking our baby girl if she wants a haircut. Knowing her, she'll want to get one like her uncle. He has these cool designs shaved into hide head. If she wants that, she can have that. She's my world and I refuse to ever be this ignorant and harmful to her again. Final edit. My wife and I arranged for our daughter to spend the night at my mother-in-law's house and couples therapy will be in the near future. The comments sections have certainly given me many perspectives of how horrible my words and actions are. I won't be doing any more replies or edits because this is a throwaway account. I think that's the right term for this. My mother has called the house multiple times from my sister's phone. My sister is 25 and lives for drama, so now the whole family on my mother's side is blowing up my phone with many mixed opinions, most of which are horrible. It's funny. The only family member whose opinion reflects this comment section's common consensus is the one who was disowned a few months ago. Well, actually that's not funny. It shows how messed up my family is. Thank you all for these replies no matter how harsh or mean they might seem. I needed this. An NBSP.
Reminder: I am not the original poster.
I'm mixed race and my husband is white. My mill has made many comments over the years about my natural hair. The few times I've straightened it in the last 15 years, she said I look better and more put together. Really gets on my damn nerves. The way I gasped in the first 30 seconds reading he got his 4-year-old's hair relaxed. That poor baby.
Yikes. I'm black and an older white lady asked me how I do my hair at the airport one time. Apparently her granddaughter is half black and she wants it straight all the time. I told her in no uncertain terms, do not chemically straighten her hair. Quote, "There's no excuse to not learn how to style hair with different textures these days. There are so many tutorials online. Also, I hope this couple works on their communication." Did you know perms are now linked to cancer? We love our natural curly hair. SMH when he called his daughter's hair nappy. Smiling face with tear. The important thing is that he knows he screwed up bad. He wants to be better and that getting better will take a lot of time. And he's going to cut the toxic people out of his life. It's so insane how so many people truly do not understand how different black people hair can be. Funnily enough, even I as a black person have had to learn more about my own hair. I hate how aggressively dismissive people are when it comes to black people's hair as well. Wishing Oop's daughter and wife the best. I truly don't understand how couples like this get married without addressing such obvious issues. Oop is lucky his wife didn't leave him, but at the same time, how in the world did it get to this? Point? My grandfather had 3 daughters. They all had hair that was long enough for them to sit on. One day, he asked his mother to keep them overnight. She didn't want to deal with brushing their hair, so she gave them all 3 page boy haircuts. My grandfather did not speak to his mother for over 10 years. He really said, "Nappy," with his whole chest? Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark. Well, at least Oop was willing to listen and learn. I dyed my hair 2 days ago. Just wanted to go back to my natural color. Nothing crazy. And I used a 20-volume developer. I'm almost 30. I've been dyeing my hair for the better part of 2 decades. And my scalp was burning. I can't even imagine what this poor baby went through with a perm. Gosh. The first part triggered a ton of memories of how embarrassed I was to wear my natural hair and how I wanted my curls to be looser. Then I got a perm and my hair was so damaged. I'm in my mid-20s and I'm just now learning how to do my natural hair and it's hard. I'm glad he realized the error of his ways. I hope he continues to work on his racism. Side note. Does anyone else think the disowned member of the family is part of the LGBTQ community? There's a half Asian half-black girl with African American type hair that goes to one of my daughter's classes. We're Asian. And one day we saw the mom with her daughter whose hair looked like a mess that day. The Asian mother looked at our daughter and said, "I wish my daughter had hair like yours. I don't know what to do with mine." My wife told her there are YouTube videos on how to care for African American hair. Don't know if that mother ever took the time to learn. It was so sad to hear her say that in front of her daughter. Reading this made my scalp itch and burn. And I swear it turned red as well just thinking about it. Poor child and poor wife. Interracial relationships are all fun and games until you get kids and realize your partner is a racist as well. It's sad. I'm glad Oop is coming around, but wow, he has a lot of unlearning to do. I hope he doesn't regress. For the sake of his daughter. If not his marriage. If they stuck around OOP's mom, the daughter would continue to be forced to go through microaggressions. I don't understand why he didn't think to bring her to a black-owned hair salon. To someone who would have the expertise to care for his daughter's hair if he genuinely couldn't manage alone. That should have been the worst-case scenario here. How is the daughter 4 and he has no idea how to care for her hair? I'm a bald white guy married to a black woman. In just the few years we've been together, I've learned a lot about black hair and how different it is from my family's hair. I don't understand how Oop could be in a relationship that long and not picked up on how much specific care and maintenance that type of hair needs and what can be harmful to it. I think this perfectly shows why some people don't think they are racist, because they believe they are well-intentioned. Oop clearly doesn't mean to be, and loves his wife and kid, but he was born in an environment that normalized racism and didn't try to understand the lived experience of others. I think this is the frustration a lot of people have with people not being overtly racist like Oop's mom, but being complicit in it. To me, this is why the fiscally conservative, socially progressive conservatives don't think they're doing anything wrong despite giving power to an overtly racist platform.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.